Yo dudes, what's up? This is Planet Keef, I'm Keef, and today, well, I owe you all a sincere apology because last year, 2020, was pretty hopeless on the Planet Keef video production front because I started an awful lot of projects, but I didn't finish very many, and of those, even fewer were resulted in finished videos. So apologies for that, and I really will try to be more productive for you this coming year, 21. Anyway, just to show you that I'm not lying, I have actually been in the shed and started making things. Here's about a dozen projects that didn't get finished. But before we dive into that, there's one from 3 years ago, which is the greenhouse. When we moved into this place, Mrs. Planet says, "Can we have a greenhouse?" And I said, "Yeah, of course we can." And then I found out how much they cost, and they're quite expensive, so I decided that I would make my own. And that took a couple of years to get off the ground, and then 2 or 3 months to actually make it. But I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with the result, as is Mrs. Planet. The problem is there is a ton of footage, but the important bit, how it started, the basic framework of it, I really haven't got any decent footage of that, so I'm going to have to do some diagrams, animations or whatever, just to explain what happened. That is literally another story. Let's dive in. So, this is Planet Keef, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to make a high-powered adjustable LED video light. I'm going to have a go at making a Bluetooth speaker. I'm going to do a product review, USB microphone, a product review, Rode NT USB Mini, an Arduino controlled pan and tilt camera mount, a hot wire foam cutter, a wireless Lavalier microphone system, oh yeah, a Bluetooth speaker. Product review, 4K action cam, DragonTouch Ultra HD 4K. I'm going to do something with all of the failed 3D prints, or quite a lot of the failed 3D prints that I've made over the years. Now the small video light, at the time I made it, well, as nearly always I was skint. I needed an adjustable light, like a little spot lamp kind of thing. I couldn't afford a real one. I thought I could rig one up using an old angle poise lamp base and a biscuit tin and some LED strips. So I got the bits together, but I never actually finished it because what I wanted to do was 3D print some components to fix, well, the reflector, the biscuit tin, to the stand. But my 3D printer was broken at the time and I got distracted for about a year trying to fix it. And by the time I had got it fixed, I'd got some little LED panel lamps, so I didn't need to make my own. So that's one project that won't get finished as intended, but I will use that angle poise base for something, I'm sure, because it's gorgeous. Moving on, Bluetooth speaker, yeah. So we got this little Bluetooth speaker. We've had it for, well, quite a while. It's crap. It's always been crap. The problem is, even though it's Bluetooth, I can't make it work. I can't pair it with this phone. Oh, and also the sound quality is awful. It's got no bass, and there's some frequencies it just doesn't like. It just goes bzzz. Yeah, the other annoying thing about this, when you switch it on, does that. Does that. That is really, what the hell? Why? That's I don't know. That's at full volume and nasty. So here's a basic kind of prototype with battery pack of rechargeable 18650 batteries. The amplifier board, this is a 30 watt amplifier with built-in Bluetooth, and the speaker, this is a full range speaker from Dayton Audio, and it's extremely good quality. So just in this bit of video, proof of concept of sending a tune over Bluetooth to the circuit and have it play. Obviously, I'm using a stainless steel pie dish as a container, which is not the best thing because acoustics. So the other part of the project was to 3D print the housing, which I did. and I managed to cram everything in, but actually it's too cramped. There's no actual space inside for the air to move around and resonate, and also this button on the top, there's something wrong with it, it's not working properly. So it's actually on hold while I redesign and reprint the enclosure for the bits. So we'll come back to that for sure, because those were pricey components and I'm not going to let them go to waste. Thronmax USB microphone review. I bought this because I needed a microphone in the office, a decent quality one that is permanently there, that's where it lives, so I'm not messing about with shifting the microphone from the kitchen every time I want to do a voiceover or something here. But I didn't want to spend any money. Yeah, because really I think you need to start looking at spending from about £100 upwards to get a really worthwhile microphone. So being a silly cheapskate, I spent £45 on this. It looks moderately cool. It works up to a point. I found the leg fell off the little tripod. I could have glued it back on. But I didn't like the quality of sound it recorded. It was very toppy, virtually no bass. I sent it back. I almost never do that. So yeah, I'm not criticising it because, well, I don't know, you get what you pay for. £45 isn't enough to pay for a decent microphone. So there, I learnt my lesson. Ooh, and hey nonny nonny, it lights up in blue. So having sent the Thronmax Pulse back, I needed to buy another microphone, and as soon as I got the refund I started looking. Unfortunately this was the height of the pandemic when everybody, well, a lot of people were working from home using online things like Zoom, and they needed decent webcams and decent microphones. So all of the suitable microphones that I would have been interested in, like the Blue Yeti and things like that, were out of stock, gone. But Rode had just launched this USB Mini, which is very handsome and, you know, at a really good price. As I said, you've got to pay £100. This was, I think, probably $99.99 or something. Pretty much £100. And yeah, excellent piece of kit. I've got no idea why I didn't finish the video. So it's all more or less there. I could edit that together in quite a short time. So maybe sometime in January you might see that review. Hey, getting good, eh? Getting efficient. Okay, next one is one of my favourites, but it's very elaborate. It's an Arduino controlled pan and tilt camera mount mechanism. I don't know very well why this wasn't finished because it's very complex. There's a lot of 3D design and printing in it. There's the electronics, the motors, gears, goodness knows what, and then on top of that there's some Arduino programming. So yeah, all good fun, very complex, very technical. I'll definitely finish it because I definitely actually need it, and I definitely can't afford a professional one, but I just don't know when I'm going to have the mojo to, you know, get in that shed and concentrate, because it's going to take, you know, it's probably a solid week or two of actual work to do it. We'll see. Now, the foam cutter, this was a silly little thing that I hoped that I could just throw together in like an afternoon, and I called it a foam cutter because that would have been one of its purposes, but the main reason I wanted it was on Keef Cook somebody wants me to make fish fingers as they would be made in a factory, so perfectly cut rectangles, the exact correct standard fish finger dimensions, and so for that I reckon I needed a fairly powerful hot wire cutter. Unfortunately I didn't understand the maths, so what I ended up with was one that was not powerful at all, and in this video can't even cut foam, although I did upgrade it later, but I'd given up on filming it by then. If that happens it'll be a complete start from scratch, so I don't know. The hob slider sounds like The Godfather. I just threw it together in actually a day or two, and I didn't really film it because, well, you get on better when you're not filming things, honestly. And I needed to have this working. So basically, it's a camera mount that slides, that's mounted in the recess above the hob, below the extractor. So there's a pair of parallel rails and a slider and a camera mount thing. What I'd completely forgotten, because I'm an idiot, is all of these bits were 3D printed. And 3D prints with standard materials, I use PLA, polylactic acid, have a fairly low melting point. So, you know, exposure to steam from, you know, a pan of boiling potatoes will wilt the plastic. So I almost lost a camera to a pot of boiling water, because by the time I noticed it was wilting, it was like 45 degrees above this vat of stuff that would destroy it. So that will need revisiting. I'll probably do the joints and brackets and things in wood, or if I do 3D print them, I'll line them with metal. Yeah, that was almost my most disastrous project. Going to try and make a wireless Lavalier microphone system. So you might be sitting there scratching your head going, a what? He's going to make a what? Is that a kind of cake? In principle, all it does is replaces the cable that would normally go from a clip-on microphone or a lapel mic to your recording device, which in my case is the camera, and that's replaced with a Bluetooth transmitter and a Bluetooth receiver, and the receiver has a cable coming out of it that plugs into the input on the recording device. So here's the breadboard concept power supply for the receiving end of the system. I've got a breadboard power supply which is temporary. In the real thing it'll be replaced by these flat coin cells. But right now this breadboard thing, little board is made by, it's connected to a Bluetooth receiver, which in turn is connected to a headphone jack. So I've got my power supply there. That's only my Zoom H1 digital stereo jack, which and that hopefully will first of all connected to my broadcast Zoom H1 unit digital audio recorder. Okay, so I'll switch on the breadboard power supply. Then I will. We need to. And we may or may not have Bluetooth connected. It looks like it's connected now. So I'll set the audio recorder just to record, and I'll play some music. So now we know that works. I designed a little housing for it which would plug directly into the audio in socket on the camera, and I printed it, and it turned out to be a little bit too big, and it was interfering with something else, so I would have needed to tweak that design. But at the same time I was trying to find some kind of Bluetooth transmitter device that wasn't already you know, a radio or a phone or something else. I just wanted the circuit board, and I couldn't find it. I think I did find some that would come from China in about 6 weeks. So I don't think I ordered those, and I think this project isn't really going anywhere at the moment. Now the next one is also a Bluetooth speaker. I did one earlier in the year, which you've seen. This one came about, well, because I got stuck on that first one with the button and you know, just the size of the thing. But I just dismantled a soundbar and rescued a couple of speakers, little tiny speakers, and I thought I'll just see if I can do a quick stereo Bluetooth speaker. So what I've got basically is a couple of teeny tiny speakers that came out of a broken soundbar. In there we have this passive radiator, I think it's called, that has to be glued in that hole. It was glued, but I took it out because I needed access to the gubbins inside. So we've got power distribution board, which is This is actually designed for using with breadboards. The Bluetooth board, the amplifier board. So that's my mock-up, which, you know, works, and replace it. So I've got a lid for the casing, which just sits on the top, and you can see this little mechanism for pressing the switch on the power board. Da da da. Which I'm insanely pleased about. So the little speaker unit, I did a thing. I think I've damaged it when I've tried to assemble everything inside the actual casing, where I've started soldering bits of wire to little bits of circuit board, and just messed it up, and either, you know, short-circuited across a couple of pads, or overdone it and burnt through the board material or whatever. Once I get to a point where I'm doing that assembly, I break it, so I don't know quite where I'm going with that little stereo Bluetooth speaker thing, which is a shame because it was kind of cute. I'm going to review this 4K action cam, DragonTouch Ultra HD 4K Sport. For when I go running, as you know, I do that a lot. So I bought this myself, no bribery or corruption involved whatsoever, or sponsorship promotion, I mean. You will get my honest opinion, and I hope it's good. I didn't finish the review of this webcam because, well, I didn't like it really. It was, and the thing that killed it for me was it didn't work. It doesn't work very well as a webcam. I mean, it kind of works, but it flickers. And it might be to do with different refresh rates and things, but I've not found a solution to that. But I will actually, you know, spend a bit of time playing with this and seeing if I can get anything worthwhile out of it later. And today I'm going to do something with all of the failed 3D prints, or quite a lot of the failed 3D prints that I've made over the years. So it's not going to be anything useful, it's going to be art. Well, art is useful for lifting the spirits and enriching the soul, kind of thing. So, yeah, ever since I started 3D printing a couple of years ago, I've always worried about the waste that is produced, because you never, ever, ever, if it's a component for something or a case for something, you're just never going to get a successful first print. So this silly little project to try and turn my waste bits of 3D printed nonsense into artworks, well, it sounded good on paper, but when I actually got into it, I would visualise, you know, a streetscape or something, but then I would think, I want a bridge across that, and I haven't got anything that's like a bridge, so I'll just go and design a bridge and 3D print it, which utterly defeats the object. So that's not happening either. So there you go, that's just a selection of some of the things that I started but didn't finish in the last few years, mostly in the last year. But it has kind of inspired me to carry on with a few of those projects and bring them to fruition. Because I would really like to just, you know, say, here is a professional looking box that makes sound come from nowhere and stuff like that. And, you know, we have the technology. So there you go, it's a new year, 2021. Let's hope it's a good one and some of our problems get sorted out. And, yeah, Happy New Year and see you soon.